The Hoklo people are Han Chinese people whose traditional ancestral homes are in southern Fujian of South China. They are also known by various endonyms, or other related terms such as Banlam people or Hokkien people. In a narrow scope, Hoklo people refers mainly to people who speak and use the Hokkien dialect of Min Nan Chinese spoken in southern Fujian, Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and by many overseas Chinese throughout Southeast Asia. In a wider scope, Hoklo people can include speakers of other Min Nan dialects, such as Zhongshan Min, Zhenan Min, Teochew dialect, and Hainanese. Etymology. In Taiwan, there are three common ways to write Hoklo in Chinese characters, although none have been established as etymologically correct. Hoklo, Fujian folk, emphasizes the connection to Fujian province. It is not an accurate transliteration in terms from Hokkien itself, although it may correspond to an actual usage in Hakka. Hoklo, Yellow River and Luo River, emphasizes the purported long history originating from the area south of the Yellow River. This term does not exist in Hokkien. The transliteration is a phonologically inaccurate folk etymology, though the Mandarin pronunciation Luo has gained currency through the propagation of the inaccurate transliteration. Hoklo, Crane folk, emphasizes the modern pronunciation of the characters, phonologically accurate. In Hakka, Teochew, and Cantonese, Hoklo may be written as Hoklo and, despite the many ways to write Hoklo in Chinese, the term Holo is used in Taiwan to refer to the ethnicity and language. Definition. In general, the Hoklo people can refer to one of the following. In Taiwan, about 70% of the Taiwanese people descend from Hoklo immigrants who arrived to the island prior to the start of Japanese rule in 1895. They could be categorized as originating from Zhenan Min, Quanzhou, Zhangzhou, and Zhangku based on the dialects and districts of origin. People from the former two areas were dominant in the north of the island and along the west coast, whereas people from the latter two areas were dominant in the south and perhaps the central plains as well. During the 2 centuries of King rule, a large number of Hoklo men took Aboriginal brides. Some of the plains Aboriginals also adopted Chinese customs and language. Many of those who today categorize themselves as Hoklo have some degree of indigenous ancestry. Thus, Hoklo culture in Taiwan has deviated from that in mainland China due to Austronesian and Japanese influences. Within the Taiwanese Han Hoklo community itself, differences in culture indicate the degree to which mixture with Aboriginals took place, with most pure Hoklo Han in northern Taiwan having almost no Aboriginal admixture, which is limited to Hoklo Han in southern Taiwan. Plains Aboriginals who were mixed and assimilated into the Hoklo Han population at different stages were differentiated by the historian Melissa J. Brown between short root and long root. The ethnic identity of assimilated Plains Aboriginals in the immediate vicinity of Tainan was still known since a pure Hoklo Taiwanese girl was warned by her mother to stay away from them. The insulting name Fan was used against Plains Aborigines by the Taiwanese, and the Hoklo Taiwanese speech was forced upon Aborigines like the Patso. Hoklo Taiwanese has repulsed Patso and driven it to near extinction. Aboriginal status has been requested by Plains Aboriginals. The deep-rooted hostility between Taiwanese Aborigines and Hoklo, and the Aboriginal community's effective KMT networks contribute to Aboriginal skepticism against the DPP and the Aboriginals' tendency to vote for the KMT. When the Taiwanese Han blood nationalists tried to claim Plains Aboriginal ancestry as a tool to promote Taiwanese independence and to claim an identity separate from that of mainland Chinese, in spite of the fact that their own ancestry was overwhelmingly that of recent migrants from China, with genetic tests showing differences between them and Plains Aborigines. Their claims were decidedly rejected by the modern descendants of Taiwanese Plains Aborigines. The Plains Aborigines seek to preserve their own traditional culture since the abuse of claiming their ancestry by Taiwanese blood nationalists to create a uniquely non-Chinese Taiwanese identity based on blood negates the actual significance of having Plains Aborigine ancestors. Indonesia and Malaysian Hoklo Hokkien. The Hoklo Hokkien make up one of the Malaysian Chinese groups. There are also Hokkien and Hoklo among the Chinese Indonesians. Haifeng, Lufeng and Lijiao in Guangdong, China. The people of Lijiao and the non-Hakka people in Haifeng and Lufeng are Hoklo people in a narrow scope, but are often being mistaken as Chaozhou, Teochew people in Hong Kong and Southeast Asia, North America. Between 1885 and 1949, there were only 9 migrants out of nearly 100,000 to Canada who traced their origins to Fujian. After the 1960s, more Taiwanese Hoklo people began immigrating to the United States and Canada. Prominent Hoklo people. This list includes people who are of either pure or partial Hokkien ancestry. Scientists, mathematicians and astronomers. Su Song, a famous Chinese scientist, mathematician and astronomer during the Song dynasty, who invented and built the first hydromechanical astronomical clock in the world. Lu Jiaxi, a child prodigy who was so smart he finished elementary school in a single year and was enrolled in a university before reaching the age of 13, through passing the entrance exam, eventually becoming a chemist after obtaining a chemistry degree at age 18 and 19, and served as president of the Chinese Academy of Sciences from 1981 to 1987. His most notable contribution is the invention of the structural model of the center of nitrogenase, a key enzyme used in nitrogen fixation. Zhang Yuzhe, a famous Chinese astronomer who was widely regarded as the father of modern Chinese astronomy. Entrepreneurs and businessman Tan Kaki, a well-respected Chinese patriot, businessman and philanthropist who was responsible for gathering much support from the community to aid China in major events and wars. He also helped contribute to many schools in Fujian. Tan Tokseng, a rich businessman most famous for contributing money to build a hospital called Tam Tok Seng Hospital after he saw many poor and sick people, and funding the construction of temples in Singapore. Kwek Kian Gi, the Indonesian coordinating Minister of Economics and Finance. Mari El Kapangestu, Minister of Trade of Indonesia. Military generals Hong Cheng Cha, a Ming Dynasty and Qing Dynasty general who was promoted to Minister of War and Viceroy of Suliao during the early Qing Dynasty. John Lai, a military general and national hero of Indonesia. Bibliography